What's going on with the countdown in this thing? What's up,
I got
everyone?
I got a full countdown this time.
I got a 5, and that's all I got. Anyway, what's up, everyone, and welcome into the Cannonballs podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Dane Cannon. Co-hosting with me today is
your boy Jake Mother Effin Bowles on the mic. 1, 2.
And guys, we are continuing on with our top 5 series. If you guys haven't already, we've already been covering the offense. We're going to be finishing today with the offensive line. We've already done wide receivers, tight ends, QBs, and running backs. So if you guys wanted to check out our top 5 of those, go ahead and give our previous videos a listen, or, just do your thing. You could say fuck it and not even watch them, but, we're putting them out there anyway. So guys, we're going to be doing, what's up?
You can not watch them, but just give us a like just because.
Or listen for at least a minute. Subscribe. You could do anything to help us out if you wanted. But guys, we're going to be breaking down tackles and then interior offensive linemen, so guards and centers. Before we get into that, though, we're going to be covering a little bit of news that's been kind of breaking the internet a little bit. It's not like the hugest news, but it's pretty decent. We have OBJ who finally signed with the team, so we'll discuss that. There's some rumors that are spreading around the NFL about Mac Jones and Bill Belichick, so we're going to talk about that as well. So, Jake, what do you want to start with? What would you like to get into first?
Let's just get right into the big news of the weekend. OBJ finally signs with the Ravens for a 1-year, $18 million deal. I'm kind of mixed on, or I have mixed opinions on this. I am an OBJ fan. I think he's great. But I didn't want him to go necessarily to the Ravens. I was really hoping he would go to the Jets, and the Jets just make this crazy super team. And then, just they're hot as shit for 1 year and then go to the Super Bowl, win it. The New York Jets deserve something, and then boom, flame out and go back to the abyss. But unfortunately, he went to unfortunately, whatever you want to call it, it's your opinion. He went to the Ravens. So, it's good for him because, he's been looking for a team for, a while now. He didn't play all last year, healing up from his injury, and a team took a chance on him. And, I want to say he's going to be, the old OBJ, but, he's coming off a, ACL injury?
Yeah, he's been dealing with that ACL on and off, and I think that was the last thing that happened to him was his ACL in the Super Bowl against the Cincinnati Bengals. But, when he's come back, he's looked pretty good. He is getting up there in age, but I don't think that that's going to affect any of his hands or his hand talent. He's one of the best catching wide receivers in the NFL. He's a great route runner. He's dialed in. He knows the NFL well. I think he's going to come in and immediately be the number 1 for Baltimore. The only thing that I'm concerned about is how he's going to fit into this scheme. I kind of wish he went to a scheme with a little bit better passing attack. It's not that the Ravens have a poor passing attack. Lamar Jackson can get it done, but they do like to run the ball. They like to run their options. They like to run their audibles. So it'll be interesting. I think he'll play a key component. Maybe he opens up this playbook a little bit for the Ravens. Maybe they've been waiting for a true number 1 wide receiver, because he's going to immediately step in and be the number 1. So I think that he can come in and help this passing attack. Now it's going to fall on Lamar. If he stays healthy and if he improves on his accuracy, this could be a pretty decent team. They got a good defense. Lamar's very talented. Mark Andrews is great. They got a great running attack. Offensive line's okay. They just got to put it together. So it's going to be an interesting Baltimore season for me. And I think OBJ will, come in and contribute as long as he can stay healthy.
So, in your opinion, do you think the signing of OBJ is a foreshadowing of the Ravens getting a deal done with Lamar soon?
I don't know. I don't think so, honestly. I think that this is them trying to make amends and trying to savor the relationship. Hey, look at this. We got you a number 1 wide receiver, but it's a 1-year deal. If he moves on from this team after this, then it's like, how much of an incentive is that for Lamar to stay? He's staying for 1 more year regardless. But for like a long-term contract extension, I don't know how much it plays a factor, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I just don't know. This whole Lamar Jackson contract situation has been pretty tricky. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, who are the other wide receivers for the Ravens? It was Devin Duvernay and Rashad Bateman.
Yep.
And Mark Andrews. So, you know, he comes in and
they've been injured also. So it's not like they've run with the entire squad out there more than a couple games. So it could be a pretty dangerous squad as long as they stay healthy.
Yeah. I mean, both Bateman and Duvernay showed flashes of, you know, potential greatness. Mark Andrews is easily, I think, third best, top, second best. Yeah. It's kind of a, you know, move him and George Kittle up and down. Like they kind of alternate. So I think it could be pretty interesting. I just think they really got to get that Lamar Jackson deal done. And then, you know, the Ravens will be back where they're at. So yeah, that's the big news. But it's going to be fun to see OBJ. It's always fun when seeing him play, and hopefully he can stay healthy. So yeah, that's the Odell news. Couple other news things that have been happening around the league. You know, there's some turmoil going on in New England. You know, there's rumors that Bill Belichick is potentially shopping Mac Jones. What do you think of that, Dane?
I mean, I can't say that I blame him. Honestly, Mac Jones' stats from year 1 to year 2 were pretty noticeably different. I don't know how much of that's on Matt Patricia and the offensive scheme. You know, I mean, there were obviously points last year's season where Mac Jones was clearly unhappy with Matt Patricia and the play calling. And he's like, let me throw the ball downfield. Let me throw the ball downfield. And he would scream at him on the sideline. But, you know, I don't know how much of that is necessarily the scheme and how much of that is Mac Jones as well, you know. It's hard to say, but Mac Jones clearly didn't take the next step forward. He kind of had his sophomore slump like we see with a lot of quarterbacks. So it'll be interesting, but I definitely think in this year's draft, say, for example, New England has the potential to trade up if they wanted to and then take a quarterback. Like they have the potential to do it. I think that would make a very interesting situation. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but they could make it interesting, especially if they're shopping Mac Jones around, try and get a 3rd round pick for him, maybe a 4th. I don't know what his market would be at this point in time because this is kind of newer news. So
yeah, that's my trouble with I don't really think there is a market for Mac Jones, if I'm being honest. You know, most of the teams have a quarterback or someone that they think they can go into the season with. And I don't know if any team is really going to be like enamored by Mac Jones and, you know, maybe just want to hold on to that 3rd or 4th round pick that they would trade for him. Yeah, it's pretty interesting what's going on with New England. You know, I've just been hearing that and kind of like the relationship between Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick kind of, let's say, walking on eggshells. I feel like, I don't know, like there's kind of a debate that I've been listening to on some of the talk shows. You know, there was Bill Belichick or Tom Brady, who was the
reason why they won all the seasons.
All the Super Bowls. And it was kind of, you know, pretty compelling. You know, I always thought of Bill Belichick as like this great coach, but then they showed the numbers from, you know, before before like when he was with Cleveland and before he had Tom Brady and then after Tom Brady. And I think he's under 500 without Tom Brady. And then with Tom Brady, he's like, looks like this, you know, Hall of Fame coach, which he is. Like, he's like a defensive mastermind or whatever. But it's just pretty interesting because I think, I don't know, I feel like Mac Jones is kind of getting the short end of the stick here, going to that organization. Because, you know, there's, you know, former players have said Bill Belichick has kind of been a hard coach to play for. You know, he really just cares about winning, kind of does it his way or the highway. And then he brings in Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator. And, you know, I can see why Mac Jones is pretty frustrated playing for the Patriots. So, I mean, if you're Mac Jones, would you want to stay there, or would you want to, trade me? I don't care. I want to go somewhere that can actually showcase my talents. What would you do?
I would want to get traded personally. I don't think that Bill Belichick's a bad coach by any means. I think he's a great coach. I think he's terrible at drafting, though, because he's the one in charge of drafting, and he should not be. Honestly, I don't. There's so many memes about Bill Belichick and his draft process. It's hilarious. I mean, he'll find people from like third, fourth round talent and try and be like, all right, that's my guy. I'm going to turn him into a starter. I'm going to make him a New England Patriot. And like, there's so many memes about like New England Patriots, like how to become a New England Patriot as like a Bill Belichick led franchise. And I think it all stems from what happened with Tom Brady. You know, like you draft this guy in the 7th round and then he ends up being one of the, if not the greatest of all time. So it kind of like, I don't know, deters the mindset a little bit and makes you think that, oh, I can repeat this over and over and over again and show why I'm the greatest drafter. But you're not. Like, you're drafting people who should be drafted in the 4th round and you're drafting them in the 1st, which is not okay. So I personally, if I was Mac Jones, I would not be opposed to being traded at all. Maybe you could get traded to some place that's warmer also, and you're not having to play in the freezing cold every single year.
Just pretty, like I was talking about the record without Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. His record without Tom Brady is 79-87. So
wow.
Yeah, not great. So it's pretty interesting. You know, I think things are going to develop in New England. I think there's going to be some pretty good 30 for 30s that come out when, you know, Bill Belichick retires. And they're going to get all the crew together and we're going to get the details about stuff. Yeah, so pretty interesting, but we'll, you know, keep our ears open for
We're still waiting on the Aaron Rodgers news. It's coming eventually, hopefully. Either that or, you know, maybe he's just going to go buy more crystals. Did you hear about that?
No, I haven't.
Dude, Pat McAfee was talking about Aaron Rodgers, how basically paparazzi or someone like caught him like coming out of a crystal shop, just like shopping crystals. Like, he's full blown hippie now. It's hilarious. He does ayahuasca and then turns into a hippie.
If it helps him win Super Bowls, you know what? Good for him, I guess.
Gotta get some good luck crystals.
Yep. Oh man, that is funny. But yeah, no news about Aaron Rodgers and really no big free agent signings besides the OBJ. So, yeah, that's really news and notes from around the league, I guess. Unless you can think of anything else.
No, I cannot. So how about we jump into the main conversation of this episode? So like we already mentioned, guys, we're going to be doing our top 5 again. We're going to be doing tackles and then guards, mix in centers in there as well. So Jake, did you want to break it? How would you like to do it? Because I know that when we kind of discussed this earlier, you were a little bit caught off guard by like separating tackles from interior. Did you want to do top 5 just offensive linemen in general, or did you want to do tackles, guards, and centers? Like guards with centers and then tackles separately?
We can. Disclaimer, folks. I'm not like super knowledgeable with the offensive lineman this year. I've been doing some research. I'm kind of just going off of PFF's grades here, and I just wanted to give you a breakdown of some of their top 5 players. So
I'm not that dude. You know what we could do? We could just be like, who do you think could chug more beers or eat more hot dogs? Like, just based off of their picture, like, dude, Paris Johnson could totally win this chicken eating contest compared to Anton Harrison. Anton Harrison looks like he could only eat 40 hot dogs. I'm putting Paris Johnson for 50. We could do that.
I like it. We can add that to the mix. I like it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we should just do we'll just do tackles and then we'll do interior linemen.
Sounds
just
good.
kind of separate it. So,
all right. Did you want to start with tackles or interior first?
let's do interior.
Okay, good, because I like the tackles more anyway. I'm a little bit more knowledgeable.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty deep tackle class, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a pretty good tackle class.
Yeah, so that's pretty good for teams needing some pass blockers. I know our teams could probably use another tackle, just some for depth, or I mean, kind of have a guy on 49ers that hasn't really played a whole lot. So yeah, maybe they'll pick up a tackle. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Dan, kick it off.
All right, so for my 5th ranked spot, I have the center from Ohio State, Luke Whippler. He is my 5th ranked interior offensive lineman. Not much to say about this guy other than, he's 6'3", 300 pounds. I think he played all 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, at Ohio State. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he played 2. But, he's been decent. He knows how to anchor. He's got good hand placement. He's been consistent. I think that he's played well, especially with CJ Stroud. Him and CJ developed that good relationship. I think he'll transition well into the NFL. So yeah, I got Luke Whippler at number 5.
All right. All right, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm scrolling here. All right. For centers, at number 5, I can't even pronounce this dude's name. Olusegun Oluwatimi. Bro.
Don't worry, you are not the only one who cannot pronounce his name. You're not the only one who can mispronounce his name. Oh, by the way, I think Luke Whippler could down about 30 hot dogs and maybe like five beers. 5 beers, 30 hot dogs. You know what? That's low ball in his beer intake. I'm gonna say 10 beers.
Ooh, that's kind of low ball. I think that's a low ball.
All right, 2 pitchers to himself.
Yeah, there you go. Pitchers. We'll do it in pitchers
with 30 hot dogs.
Those pitchers.
I think he could do it.
Yeah, those pitchers look like just regular glasses to these guys.
Yeah, he looks like he likes relish on his hot dogs too.
I love relish. All right, so for my number 5 center, just going off PFF. Actually, I'm not even gonna say mine. I'm going off PFF right now. Number 5 center, we got Olusegun Oluwatimi. I think I did better that time. He's 6'3", 307. He started in Virginia, but he played his last 3 years in wait, hold on. No, he played his first 3 years in Virginia, and he played his last year in Michigan. And I think he really helped that offensive line. He won a couple awards for best center in college. I think the biggest thing that I can take away from this guy is he gave up 0 sacks the entire season last year. So, he's pretty well deserving of that award. I think it was the what award was it? Sorry. I can't find it. Best center award. But yeah, they're saying he's got good awareness. He's got good drive with his feet, and he fights like heck to anchor in pass protection. Some of the cons with this guy, he kind of is lacking athleticism, and he'll leave his hands out to get batted down by, faster defensive linemen. So, as an offensive lineman, you got to get your hands out there and you got to keep pushing back the opposition. So don't leave your hands out there to get batted down. So, yeah, I got number 5.
You're going to say it a third time? Let's go it again.
Olusegun Oluwatimi. Oh, I did the best that time, baby.
All right. How many hot dogs? How many beers?
All right. This guy, he looks like a big boy. But he's not even that big. 307. That's pretty big. 6'3", so he's a little on the shorter side.
He's the same height as Luke Whippler. Yeah. He's 7 pounds heavier.
Okay. This guy looks like he can eat, though. So we're just basing this off chicken.
I said
Or
hot dogs. My
hot dogs?
mine. I mean, we could make it a chicken eating contest if you wanted.
I don't know. I just had some chicken for dinner, so I'm thinking chicken wings.
Uh,
Yeah, I think this dude can easily eat 50 chicken wings and
okay.
at least 2 pitchers of beer.
For sure. All right,
And they're
coming in. Go ahead.
sorry, and real quick, they're projecting him at a 4th round talent.
All righty. So for my number 4, I actually have a pretty versatile offensive interior player who's also played on the outside at tackle position. I have Andrew Voorhees from USC. He's 6'6", 325, so he's got good height. He's got good arm length. Decent size, 325 for that height, maybe 330, 340, 335, maybe around there is where I would want him at. But, he's versatile. He's played left guard. He's played left tackle, 25 starts. The only thing that I'm a little concerned with about Andrew Voorhees is he's a redshirt senior, so he's a little bit on the older side. But, he's got good hand placement. He's got good feet. He's agile. And he played well in the Pac-12. Watching him block was pretty impressive. I think that he might be a little bit better in the running attack, but yeah, I got Andrew Voorhees at number 4.
All right. I'm going to keep it with the centers just to make my life easier. Sounds like you're doing more guards here. Oh no, you did a center the first time.
Yeah, I did center and then guard. I will say this, for my interior, I only have 2 centers and then 3 guards.
Okay. Well, then I'll probably go as the Ohio State dude. No. Yes, I will go Ohio State here. I'm gonna go Luke Whippler, number 4. The PFF ranks him as the number 1 center, 6'3", 300 pounds.
Who is this?
Luke Whippler.
Oh, who I just did?
Yeah,
at number 5.
So I'm just gonna, reiterate some stuff that Dane said. He only let up 1 sack last year, so that's pretty impressive. 7 hurries. He had a PFF grade of 82.4, so that's pretty good. Some pros with him: strong hands. He'll finish the block. He's really reactive to athletic defensive linemen, and he is really good at establishing leverage. So if you guys ever, played offensive line, your coach always tells you the lower pad wins, and that's what he's good at. So maybe some team will find that or see that and draft him early. Cons: he's undersized. And they're saying he will get. Yes.
Really quick, Jake, I just wanted to add, when you were talking about his pass blocking efficiency, he ranked in the top 5 nationally in 2021 in passing, 3rd, passing efficiency 2nd, and 3rd down conversion 2nd. So he was pretty good, especially in the passing.
Pretty impressive. So some other cons: he kind of tends to get walked back in the pocket and not very quick getting out of his stance. So that is kind of a red flag for me. It's with a lot of things, but I think especially on the line, if you don't have that first step and get that first push, you're most likely going to get beat. So hopefully he works on that. But I got Luke Whippler at number 4.
All right. At number 3, I have Steve Avila from TCU, the guard. I love Steve Avila. He is he's a sturdy human being. He is sturdy. 6'3", 332 pounds, 33-inch arms. The only thing that I will knock about him is his hand placement. I think that, he's a good anchor. He's sturdy in like gap runs. He's good at blocking initially. But he can be, because of his hand placement and because he plays up a little bit higher, he tends to kind of like throw players back, but then he can get beat through like speed, or like if they just do a swim move or like block his hands in any way. That's one thing that I think he needs to work on. But other than that, I like him setting up blocks to create sturdy walls in the A-gap runs. He's good at initial block fits, plays with good flexion and body control. He's got a dense frame capable of absorbing contact. He's played a full season of starting experience at both center and left guard, so he has a little bit of versatility, not on the outside, but on the interior. He's balanced. Lateral slides to mirror and defend his edges, he's pretty good at. But, he's occasionally delayed in recognizing twist setups, needs to steady his hands and improve his punch accuracy in pass pro. So I would definitely work on that with him. He has a tendency, like I already said, to play tall at the point of attack, more of a banger than a sustainer. So yeah, I think that, if he can work on his hand placement, I think he'll be really freaking good because he's not easy to beat. So yeah, Steve Avila at 3.
Right on. At number 3, I'm going Chandler Zavala. Kind of a little bit inexperienced, but he's a big dude, 6'5", 325. Right off the bat, gave up 0 sacks in 2022. Very impressive. He gave up 0 sacks in 2021. He didn't play a whole lot of snaps in 2021. He only played 339. 2022, he played 746. So 0 sacks in an entire, 0 sacks in a game is impressive, but in an entire season, that's just, gotta take my money, boy. But some pros, flies out of his stance. So that's good. Unlike the other guy I just said, get that first step, get that leverage. Let's see. Looks like he doesn't extend. He's kind of stable in his stance. He's not really looking to, reach out and overextend himself. Good defensive lineman will expose that. So it looks like he's pretty well balanced in his stance, and just a hard pass blocking and run blocking player. Some cons. He, like I said, inexperience. He's only played 2 years of college. 2 years Division 1. He played Division 2. He spent 2 years in Division 2, so a little inexperienced, but maybe some team will take a chance on him. Some depth pieces, give him a shot. So at number 3, I have Chandler Zavala.
All right. At number 2, I have John Michael Schmidt, and he is my number 1 center in the draft. Yeah, it reminds me of name. Sounds like John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah,
like the song. But John Michael Schmidt, the center from Minnesota, I have him as my number 1 center. 6'3.5", 301 pounds, 32 and 5/8 inch arms. I don't know if the 5/8 really makes too much of a difference, but he's kind of close to the 33 inch arms. A little bit shorter in the arm length area, but not as short as someone else that I still have yet to get to for our tackle prospects. But I like John Michael Schmidt. He's really good at making all the calls up front. He's laterally quick. He's good for reach blocking in inside or in outside zones. Captures defender's edge. He's really good at using a firm outside hand, plays with outstanding teamwork inside of his scheme. He's really well at communicating and divvying up the tasks, which is great for quarterbacks, especially for newer quarterbacks. He's consistent as a block finisher. He maintains, good balance when he's in the pass blocking sets. The only thing that I will kind of say is he kind of overextends and kind of plays too aggressive in pass setting slides sometimes. And, that could work to his disadvantage if he's going up against a multi-move defender, someone who's able to come up with a couple different moves. He can improve his timing when working on his second block also. He's good with the initial block, but if there's a little bit of lateral quickness, it might play to his disadvantage. And other than that, I like his film, dude. From Minnesota, I think that he plays really sturdy, really well. I think he's powerful. Only did 26 reps on the bench, but I think he plays stronger than that shows. Definitely not the most athletic. He is a center. He only ran a 5.35 40, but I don't think that he's going to be running too terribly much at the center, but I think that he's a good prospect for center. So John Michael Schmidt at 2.
All right. At number 2, I got another guard. Emil Ikior Jr. Junior. um,
Junior.
Junior. Yeah, this dude's 6'2", 314, and there's a trend with these guys that I'm picking. This dude hasn't given up a sack in 2 years, which is insane. And he's playing for Alabama. I mean, Alabama usually has good offensive linemen, so maybe that's a little what's the word? You're better with words, Dane. It's a little misleading because he's just surrounded by talent. But I'm not taking anything away from him. 0 sacks in 2 years is very impressive. He became the Alabama starter as a sophomore, so that's impressive. Some pros, he's got a first good step. He gets his hands low, so he gets that leverage. Again, leverage is key. And he's got a good frame to him to, take on big, beefy interior defensive linemen. Some cons, which I think, is easily fixed for this guy. He kind of, if he doesn't have an initial defender to block, he kind of just sits around and he doesn't have an awareness around him to kind of like look for someone to hit. So that's something that can definitely be, coached, just always moving your head, looking around, seeing if, someone needs help. And, yeah, so that's pretty much the cons I have on him. So I have Emil Ikior Jr.
Junior. All right, I like it. All right, I would be surprised if we don't have the number 1 interior prospect. We might not, because we've only had one of the same so far. But for number 1 in my interior offensive line, I have O'Cyrus Torrence from Florida.
So
dude's a beast. He actually lost some weight. I think he shed a good amount of weight for the combine, and I think that it'll help his draft stock because he was very heavy. I think he was pushing, I want to say he was like 350, 355, and now he's about 330, 6'5", almost 34-inch arms. So, he's got good arm length. He's sturdy, good anchor. If he gets his hands on you, it's pretty hard to get past this guy. I think that he's good in the blocking game. I think he could be a little bit quicker with his feet, but there's not much that I don't like about O'Cyrus Torrence's game. Even though he's not the most athletic, I just think that he's got that dog in him. He plays with physicality, and I really like to see that because he's an aggressive blocker. So O'Cyrus Torrence at number 1 for me.
Yeah, I also have O'Cyrus. I don't know if you heard me, but as a big dude. Again, according to PFF, he hasn't given up a sack in 3 years. What? Is that real?
I think so, yeah.
Hey, you know what? PFF does it better than me. So hasn't given up a sack in 3 years. Only gave up 1 hit in 3 years. And that's just impressive in itself. As a big dude, you want big dudes at guards. Interior defensive linemen are usually the biggest people on the field. And, to combat that, you just have athletic, big guards. And this is, he's every sense of that word or that phrase, whatever you want to call it. Some pros, according to PFF, steady, rarely gets overextended. Like I said, don't want to get overextended. Don't want to get swiped, fall down on your knees, embarrass yourself. He can easily move people back, due to his giant nature. He's can do that, and he has massive hands. 11 inches or 11 and 1/4 inches. That's insane.
It's massive. You know what I just realized? We forgot to do the hot dog or chicken wing eating contest with beers. O'Cyrus Torrence takes this one. I don't care who he's going up against, but I mean, there's a reason he was probably 360 pounds before he shed some weight. Yeah. This man can eat. This man could probably devour like 500, not 500, maybe like 100 chicken wings and maybe like 3 pitchers. I'd put my money on him in like a chicken wing eating contest.
Yeah, and if it's nuggets, if it's boneless, I'm going 200 wings. This is a big dude. He looks like easily one of the top overall linemen, I would say. But yeah, no, someone's gonna get him and get a really good interior lineman. Some cons I just want to talk about real quick. Average foot quickness. You need fast feet. You know, a lot of people think that offensive linemen aren't athletic or have good footwork or whatever, but like that's key when you're being an offensive lineman. Yeah, so maybe he'll work on that, and then yeah, that's really about it that I would like to talk about.
All right, so O'Cyrus Torrence is both Jake and mine, our first or our number one interior. So Jake, let's move over to the tackle side of things. Sorry guys, I can't talk right now for some reason. So Jake, since I started the interior, how about you start the tackle rankings? So we'll go 5 through 1. Who's your number 5 tackle in this year's draft?
All right, let me just get to that, my boy. Sorry.
So like Jake and I already mentioned, this year there are some pretty good tackles in this year's draft. I think Jake and I will know a little bit more about the tackles than we do interior offensive linemen. This isn't our specialty. I am sorry, guys. This one we're kind of just rolling with. We're kind of having fun with this one. That's why we brought in the chicken wings or hot dog eating contest. You know, some pictures. How many beers can these guys drink? How many wings do we think they could eat? You know, maybe we could put them in like a bar fight. Who do you think could take on like 5 guys just bare knuckle boxing? I think O'Cyrus Torrence would win a 1v5 bare knuckle boxing also. I don't think he's getting knocked out.
I got my money on O'Cyrus. What's his name? O'Cyrus Lawrence. All
Torrence.
Right. Torrence. All right. Number 5. All right, I'm ready. Tackles. I got Broderick Jones. Okay. 6'4", 310, sophomore. He's pretty young. He's probably redshirted though.
He is a redshirt sophomore. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did watch a couple highlights on this guy, and pretty impressive. He was able to lock down Will Anderson pretty easily, and that's you know, I think this year's top edge rusher. So yeah, pretty impressive, and didn't give up a sack last year, which is really good. Some pros, built like a sequoia tree. He's got very that's word for word. That's what it says on PFF. So like you already know. Tree? You already know this man can eat at least 500 boneless wings. So yeah, he's got a thick lower half. He's got a deadly first punch at the point of attack. So that's pretty good, you know. If someone can just punch you or, you know, block you and it feels like you're getting hit by a freight train, good luck. You're going to be going up against that all day. Yeah, and very easily coached, according to PFF. I don't know how they would know that, but I'll take it. Some cons: inconsistent hand placement, bad habit of waist bending against speed rushers. So you know what, got to work on your footwork a little bit more, and just a little bit inexperienced. And he says just a season and a half of playing time. Played 203 true pass sets in college. So, yeah, I mean, a little inexperienced, but from what I've seen, he looks pretty good. Broderick Jones.
All right. At number 5, I have Anton Harrison. He is the tackle out of Oklahoma. Anton Harrison, you know, he's 6'4", 315 pounds, 34-inch arms. Ran a 4.98 40. So, you know, he's decently athletic. 10-yard split was 1.77, 8.9 broad jump. I like Broderick Jones more in the running attack than I do the passing attack, honestly. I think he climbs well to the second level, especially to find linebackers. I think that's where his specialty is. He's got long arms, so he can make a full arm extension. The only problem with him is I think that he needs to build a little bit more power to his game. I think he needs to set the anchor a little bit better. He's not really good at knocking opponents back at the first contact. He can be rocked backward when it comes to speed and power rushers. And he's got, you know, kind of, I would say average to maybe below average agility to recover when he is beaten on those speed passing sets. But, you know, I think that if he can work on that, he can definitely make it in the NFL. I like I already said, I like what he can do at the second level. I think him getting to the linebackers and utilizing him in the running attack is good. I just think that he needs to work on hand placement as well. So I have Anton Harrison at 5.
All right, so it's funny because at number 4 I have Anton Harrison.
That's fine because at number 4 I have Broderick Jones.
Impossible!
Okay. Anton Harrison, I feel like can't eat as many wings as Broderick Jones, but I feel like he could eat a good amount. I don't think he's eating 500. I'm putting like maybe 200. Maybe 2 pitchers of beer. What?
I'm just being stupid. I'm sorry.
Impossible! Oh, impossible. Me?
I'm sorry, guys. No, so just some more stuff to talk about Anton Harrison. He is a beast in the passing game. According to PFF, he's as close to NFL ready in the passing game as you could want. But
it's funny. I like him better in the running game. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're saying here, he's good in the passing game. And
I agree. He's really. I just like the way that he moves. Maybe it's just the fluidity of when I watch him. I don't know, but he is really good at the passing game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty crazy stat. For pass block efficiency for 2022, he was tied 12th in NCAA. That's crazy. So this guy is a good pass blocker, and I guess he's not very. I guess he's pretty good in open space because the power and counter snaps, he's ranked 10th. So
that's where I like him. I like him on the move. I really like him on the move.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. So just some pros. Really good at using hands. And he's pretty experienced. He's started for 4 years or whatever it is. So cons. They're saying he's got some mediocre play strength, and his hands.
I don't think that he can. I don't think he's that strong. Honestly, I think he needs to build up the strength.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's more. So he says hands can get swatted away too easily. You got to get a little bit stronger there, and not a forklifter in the run game. So he's not going to move anybody around. But sometimes all you need is an inch, and that running back will find the gap. So, I mean, you would hope.
That's why I think when he's utilized against linebackers, that's like his go-to, because like you don't have to be as powerful to move linebackers because you got the size advantage on them. You got like maybe 50, 60 pounds on them, give or take, depending on how heavy they are. But yeah, I like him in the open space, and he is good. They utilize him well in the passing attack. He'll be a solid tackle. And did you have anything else that you wanted to say about Anton Harrison?
Yeah, he looks a little small. Or I'm gonna say he's not that much of an eater. 315. So I'm gonna say 50 wings. 75 wings. 75 wings and a pitcher of beer.
Yeah, now that I got Broderick Jones and I'm looking at him, bro, this man looks like he's mean and ready to eat. Like I agree with the 500 wings, boneless. Yeah. I don't.
And he's a growing boy. He's only a sophomore, so he's still got room to grow.
Yeah, man. Maybe that, dude, I might put him at 4 pitchers of beer. He looks like he might be ready for a bar fight. Honestly, like that mean mugshot he's got going on. Oh, bro, he's got that dog mentality, not just because he's a Georgia Bulldog, but he just looks like it. Yeah, 6'5", 311 pounds. He's not even as heavy as Anton Harrison, but he just looks thicker. Like Broderick Jones looks like most of his weights, or Anton Harrison looks like a lot of the weights in the face, and then his like upper half looks a little bit more slender. Broderick Jones just looks like he's more well distributed weight wise, but I love watching Broderick Jones. I think he could have been in contention for the number 1 tackle in this year's draft, honestly. like you said, dude, he held his own against Will Anderson, who I think is probably the best edge rusher in this year's draft. And, he's got good strength, got good hand placement. Yeah, he's just a solid tackle. So I got Broderick Jones at 4. He pretty much touched on everything already.
Oh. All right. What am I at? Number 3?
Number 3.
All right. I'm scrolling here. Sorry.
You're good. I'm just saying my number 3, I'm pretty sure is eating the most wings, like hands down. He's definitely eating the most wings in my book.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. Okay. If it's who PFF has at number 3, this dude is eating 800 boneless wings. Minimum, all right. I got Darnell Wright.
Dude, that's who I got too. I got Darnell Wright. Bro, this man is downing these. Bro, this man is starting the bar fight. He is looking mean at one person. And he is just a mean cat, bro. And he is fucking shit up. He is eating these wings. He's fighting people, bro. He's got like three pitchers at a time. He's drinking like 18 pitchers after 800 wings.
He's got double fist pitchers. He's got double fist pitchers, and he's just like eating out of a trough out of the nuggets.
He's doing like Edward 40 hands of pitchers, just downing them like they're duct taped to his hands. That's his game. That's his go-to game.
And then when he's done drinking, he just slams his head down and goes to town on them nuggets. All right. Sorry, guys. All right, Darnell Wright. Number 3, he's a senior, so he's experienced. You always want experience coming into the pros. He's 6'6", 335 pounds, big boy. Gave up 0 sacks in 2022, so that's pretty impressive. Some pros, word for word, power personified. Tons of experience. I've already said that.
Yeah, since we have them at 3 together, I want to just jump in here. This guy is powerful. Like, dude, he is not the most athletic tackle in this year's class, but he is easily the most powerful. And I think that if he is coached up with his hand placement, I think he has potential to be the best tackle in this year's draft. Like, I think he has one of the highest ceilings in this year's draft because, like, even in his highlights, like, his hand placement could use work, but when he gets his hands on you, you're not getting away. Like, imagine getting grabbed by Superman. That's the best way I could describe it. It's like, if he gets his hands on you, you're done. If you can move his hands, then you can work around him. But he has got incredible strength. So I love Darnell Wright at 3.
Yep. Yeah, and he also played very well against Will Anderson. So again, this year's top edge rusher. So pretty impressive. Tennessee has some good linemen coming into this draft. They had a great year, so for a reason. Some cons with him. Foot speed is well below average, the NFL tackle standards. So that's kind of alarming. I mean, footwork is key. And, I'm sure good offensive lineman is just going to, clean him up and get him ready for the pros. So, yeah. Who is this guy's name again? Darnell Wright. All right. Who do you got? Oh, we had the same. Who do you have at number 2?
Sorry about that. Max Muncy just hit a grand slam home run, so I had to respond to a text message.
Yeah.
Number 2, I have Peter Skronsky, the tackle from Northwestern. I think Peter Skronsky has the best technique out of anyone in this year's draft. I think that he's decently athletic. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that he has sub 33-inch arms for a tackle. So I honestly think that if a team wanted to move him to guard, they could, and he would be the best guard in this year's draft because, his hand placement is great. He's good in both the running game and the passing game. I'm just worried that if he gets to the NFL level and he's coming against these like longer, more tweener type edge defenders, they might be able to swipe his hands away, and it might be harder for him to get a good hand placement on them. But if he does, like, I think Peter Skronsky has great footwork. He's got a good anchor. He's strong enough. I think that he could be the best tackle if he maybe had the longer arms. But, you know, you also look at someone like Rashawn Slater, who also played at Northwestern, who didn't have the longest arms and who some people projected as a guard, and he still did extremely well his first year. So I think Peter Skronsky could be played at tackle and just ball out, but I would personally like him more at a guard. I think he would be the best guard. So I like Peter Skronsky in this year's draft. You know, he did 30 reps on the bench press, 30 reps in the bench wrench. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking talk right now. 30 reps on the bench press. There we go. 40-yard dash with a 5-point press, 40-yard dash. Maybe I'm having a stroke right now, dude. Jesus Christ. 40-yard dash was a 5.16. 10-yard split was 1.75. Vertical jump was actually a 34, which is not bad. And broad jump was 9.7. So he's decently athletic. Not the quickest, but, you know, decently athletic. Dude, I think I stroked out for a second.
So I think we have our 1 and 2 vice versa. Vice versas. I don't know. I think we have them.
I think we're just dumb this episode. I think this episode's just throwing us off.
Fuck it. But
Peter Skronsky, by the way, could eat at least 200 wings.
Well, this next guy I got eating 700 wings. My number 2 tackle, well, not even mine. PFS number 2 tackle is Paris Johnson Jr.
Yeah, Paris is my number 1.
Yeah, this dude easily eating 800 wings, bro. And
6'6",
and he's got 2 pitchers in each hand, so that's 4 pitchers at a time, and he's drinking it with.
He just looks too nice in his picture, man. Like, he looks like he's conservative. Like, maybe he'd be afraid to drink.
Maybe he eats his wings with a fork and knife. I've seen some stuff on YouTube and, you know, some analysis. You know, they're kind of going back and forth between Paris Johnson and
Peter Skronsky.
Yeah, so, you know, take your pick. I think, well, they play in the same conference, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
so I was
Big
gonna
Ten.
say, yeah, I was gonna say more talent maybe or playing in Ohio, but I don't know. Just, you know, he's a little on 310 for a tackle. It's kind of, you know, a little leaner. Maybe I'd like him to bulk up a little bit. But some pros. He's an athlete. He could play any sport. Strong frame, and yeah, he's pretty experienced. He's played all 3 years at Ohio State. So yeah, he's a junior right now. So right on. I am blanking.
See, so since I have him in my number 1, I'll kind of jump in for his strengths. You know, I think he's versatile to play guard or tackle. I think that you could utilize him in either of those. He's got good footwork. You know, he shuffles well, rides rushers around the arc. He's got good inside hand thumps and gathers counter moves well. He's athletic compared to a lot of these other tackles. I think that he's one of the more athletic ones in this group. He's fluid with accurate radar to strike as a pull blocker. But, you know, I think that he is one of these tackles, like you said, he's a little bit undersized for how tall he is. He's 6'6", maybe could build up his frame a little bit more. So maybe he could get bullied a little bit by a bull rush if they got great strength on the edge. You know, like a Nick Bosa, I think could push him back, honestly. So I think that it might throw off his anchor a little bit if a power rusher goes against him. But I think if he puts a little bit more on his frame, he'll be the number 1. I mean, he is number 1 in my book coming out of this year's draft. I still think Darnell Wright has the potential to be the best tackle in this year's draft. I don't know what it is about Darnell Wright, man. It's just because he plays mean. He is just a mean tackle. And I think Paris Johnson is like the first sibling like the firstborn, so he's got to be like more mature. Darnell Wright's probably like the middle child who just has everything going against him. No one loves him. You know, he's got everything to prove and just wants to beat everyone up. And Paris Johnson's like, you know, I'm going to be number one because I was firstborn. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Paris Johnson's the most pro ready right now. Darnell Wright's got a lot to work on, but Paris Johnson, I don't think has the highest ceiling. That's what I'm going for.
All right. All right, at number one, I got the aforementioned Peter Skoransky. 6'4", 315. Little undersized for me, but you know, he can always bulk up, be in 1,000 wings a day and 10 pitches a day. He'll really bulk up, boy.
See, I don't think this man can eat the most, but I definitely think he might be able to drink the most. Like, just looking at him, he looks like he could drink. Dude, he probably drinks, and if his girlfriend's home, I hope she's not there when he gets home, because he looks like he might be a mean drunk.
This guy is kind of giving me Dane Cannon vibes. His face a little bit. He kind of looks like you, like just a little bit, not like a whole lot because he's blondish, but he just kind of
got curly hair, man. What are you talking about?
Well, this picture that I'm looking at, it kind of reminds me of you. It's pretty funny. But like you said, he's a technician, has really good hands, extraordinary feet, and he's very experienced. And then, just like you said, cons arm length. So yeah,
angry drunk.
And just FYI, guys, his pass block efficiency for 2022 rank number 2.
Yeah,
that's impressive. So he could easily go be the first offensive lineman take it.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Peter Skoransky went number 1 on the tackle board. Like I said, he's so well rounded. I just think that for scouting him, some general managers and teams might be deterred a little bit by the arm length. And you know, it's kind of funny that that's such a huge thing in the NFL, because a lot of it is measurables, and that's why some people go into the combine and don't run like 40s, or they don't do certain events because they're not as good at it and they don't want to hurt their draft stock. But like, everyone's going to get measured out, so some teams may look too far into it. But if that wasn't like a big thing, I think he would be the number 1 tackle in this year's draft.
Respect. How many offensive linemen go in the first round?
Okay, I think Paris Johnson, Peter Skoransky, Darnell Wright. I think Anton Harrison could sneak in there. And I think all 5 of them, honestly, might go in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, there's some teams.
I think if any of them go in the second, I think it would be Anton Harrison, personally. Maybe Broderick Jones.
I mean, let's see who could use a lineman. Panthers aren't. Texans, Cardinals, no. Cardinals might trade. We'll see.
Cardinals will probably trade. They could use offensive linemen, but I don't think it's going to be their first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
They have too many other needs.
Seahawks, they don't need them. Lions, no. Raiders probably could use a lineman.
Raiders could use a lineman, yeah.
Falcons, they could use a line, yeah. Yeah,
they could. I think that they're going to target defense, in my opinion.
Tennessee Titans. That's my prediction for the first lineman taken.
It could be, yeah.
I mean, they just let go of Lawan. I could see them taking a tackle. Texans, they could maybe take one later. Jets.
Jets have a pretty decent offensive line. And have you seen Mekhi Becton's transformation?
Mm-mm.
Bro, I don't know if he started juicing, but he looks nice.
He's on the trembolone.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Nothing wrong with a little Test and Trent in there.
Oh, Steelers, I can definitely see taking a lineman.
Yeah.
Bucks?
I think Steelers will take a lineman, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I say two offensive linemen, 3 of the most first round. That's my prediction.
I think that there's going to be 4 taken in the first round. for tackles. I think the interior, maybe 2. I don't know about the interior. I think interior, most of them are going to go second or third.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
maybe 3 actually for interior, because centers could be utilized.
Yeah, we'll see. We only got 2 weeks until the draft, folks. So do your research.
And guys, as you can tell, Jake and I had a little bit more fun with this one. It's hard.
Always fun, Dane.
It is always fun, but like we're a little bit more knowledgeable when it comes to talking about. If you guys are still listening to this, props to you, because this episode was kind of this was kind of duty, to be honest. Like, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like, this was probably the least prepared either of us were. Fucking talking about who could chug more beers and eat more wings. Come on now. I mean, hopefully you guys just listen through for the entertainment factor. I mean, I stroked out at one point. I had a lisp at one point. I don't know what's going on.
Dane and I both woke up from naps, and then we got on him. So that's how prepared we were for this one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. And we wonder why only 7 people watch our video.
All right, guys, I think we're gonna end this one now, because I don't think this is going anywhere. Guys, if you aren't already, give us a follow on our Instagram at Cannonballs with a Z _podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. Jake, you have anything to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, do all that stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. If you're coming here for draft shit,
bro, the first 10 minutes or first 20 minutes of our information, they're like, these guys don't know shit about offensive linemen.
Bro, I'm sorry, guys. I hope we didn't waste your time too much. We're just kind of.
Hopefully, you enjoyed it for the entertainment.
Yeah, we're getting better. This is actually our first time doing draft talk, so only can go up from here, baby. But honestly, I will say, after the draft, I do like to watch highlights and research more. So, stay tuned for that, because we will be breaking down each team's draft stock. But thanks for listening. Yeah, we're here every week. Thanks for listening, and as always, peace.